blir bra. I'm supposed to go English because we maybe have people in from other countries. So prepare for English. You can ask your questions in Swedish. It's perfectly fine. But I will answer them in English because we have people maybe from other countries, because United States more or less can look at this now because it's normal time for them. They just log into my computer. See, can I see any signs of comments? I don't know. We'll see. Water. I'll try to log in and you can ask your question. Hopefully I can see them. I don't know if I can see them yet. So, is there anyone there? Talk about, this is a carnivore lifestyle thing today. I will talk about that. You have the ability, you have the chance to ask any questions about how to do it and how to sustain it, because people maybe have trouble to sustain it, and maybe not can see the long time, years coming, because it's not a quick fix. People need to understand this. I turned 49 years old it's 10 days ago, and I don't think I look like 49. Do you? I'm feeling pretty young today because this diet, I'm starting up my computers. If I look not in the phone, you have to excuse me with that. I have some troubles too. I cannot see any chat at all, so we'll see if I can find it. So this diet, or I not say diet, it's a lifestyle, will change your life, but it will take some time. Let's see if I can get this computer started. I have an old computer, so let's see if we can get it. So you have the ability or the chance to ask any questions, but I will talk about metabolic health, because there is something going on in this diet or lifestyle, and people are preparing, trying to find a way into weight loss, and how that will maybe work or not work depends on. And still people, even in World Carnivore Tribe, in Swedish Carnivore site, most pages, they are talking about calories, and that's something we maybe need to stop doing, because calorie doesn't count if you are eating a proper human diet. It will not be affected at all if you have your metabolism working as it should. And there's a lot of components in your body that will, be around to fix this for you. Can you please someone write a comment, because I cannot see the comment at all. I tried to see if I can. They seem to do a different type of. I tried to see if I can get this thing to work. They have changed it. I cannot see any comments at all. So please write a comment, because that would help me see if this works. And I have a couple of 1 hour up to 2 hours time to spend on this. So you have the chance to ask any question that you want to maybe have answers on. Let's see if we can try to get my computer started. It seems to work. Let's see if I have any. Yeah, it seems to work. So I'm still waiting for people to join. And if you prefer Swedish, I can change to Swedish for each person that maybe want to understand more in Swedish. It's fully possible, but in concern for people that are in other countries, I prefer English, because this is for everyone, and English is more spread around the world than Swedish. So I wait for answers. I try to see if someone can check the computer. Yeah, metabolic health. I know there is a woman that in Swedish Carnivore Nordic that asked for some kind of help because she wants to drop weight, and I maybe be the one that maybe can answer these questions how to do it, because probably I in was the Europe's biggest man that has dropped this weight loss I got. I was severe obese in 2017. I was 289 kilo. I have been bigger. That's photos show that, and I didn't have access to a scale. In 2016, there is a photo of me from an screen dump from a concert or we do with a band I played. I was so big I could not stand for maybe more than 3 minutes. Then the legs didn't carry me on at all. But that's a long story. I tried to see if is there any comments. Please write a comment. I see this if it's work, because they have changed something in this live. Normally I can see the comments, I can see this, but I do not. So I try to see if there is something coming. Try to get this starting. I tried to write myself, see if I can see this in the screen. I have more accounts on. Let's see if it can shows. Yes, right in Swedish, it's working. So if you have any questions, I will answer them. But we'll talk about metabolic health today and how to, fix it, because there is fix, and you can't have hurry when you go through this. I am 5 years into this, diet or lifestyle, and I'm working full time for the first time in, I worked in 2018 to 2019, and I was not in good health, but in totally, or more or less, the last 10 years, more or less, I have worked only 1 year. I've been sick for more or less 9 years before starting, coming back into work 2024 in January. And before that, I was not capable to doing that because of the obesity and all the sickness around it. And I've been sick for more or less all my life. But the older I got, the worse it got. So, but this is not supposed to be about me. You should ask any question you want, because I can probably answer them, because I'm going through a shithole of problems since I started this. And to do my own channel, I'm more relaxed. And, I did an interview with Dave Mack on a no carb life, and it was very good done. I was pretty like 95% happy with it. Could be a little shorter, but no, that's what it is. And had a lot of things to talk about, and English is maybe not my fluent language, but I tried my best. Hopefully you understand me. And please ask questions. Write hello. So I see what the people are looking at this. But we talk about metabolic health and what to do in the first time when you start this lifestyle of carnivore, because it's a lifestyle. You should change your life for, the rest of your life should be carnivore or ketovore, whatever you choose in this proper human diet, sphere. So I will say it's, it's not this, not everyone needs to go super strict carnivore. It's not for everyone, absolutely not. Some people is more or less can do in 95%, some feel better with 80%. It's all depending on your goals and what your health status is now. So, but with metabolic health, hello, hello. So with the metabolic health, the thing you should think about when you start in this lifestyle is where are you now? Blood works, etc. How do you feel? How obese are you? If you're obese, or how many sickness do you have? Have you diabetes? Have you high insulin resistance? Whatever it is, it's a long journey back into life. Yes, I perfectly speak Swedish, but this is an international channel. If you want to have answer in Swedish, I can for you. You can ask questions in Sweden. I can answer them in Sweden, but I will also answer them in English. So I prefer English, and if you want more precisely answers in Swedish, you can contact me on my messenger on Facebook. I have Meet Geek Sweden. You can ask all the questions you want there, and I can do, privately, consultation for free. I still do it for free. This is a totally a free thing for everyone. You can ask questions for free. I will not charge any people at all for any answer you want. If I do like man, no, I still into woman. I have 2 kids, and I will never look at man at all. So I don't know these questions. It's not about man or woman. It's about carnivore diet. So, but anyway, talk about this journey back in. Please, do the comments for this channel in just about carnivore diet. Don't write nasty things. And don't write thing about Fortnite. Please, I will go in and take away this ability for you if you, not behave. I should have people help me, of course, but for the other people that are in this channel that are serious about this, you can stay. I will probably take away this bullshit, the writing. We'll see if I can stop this. I can take this, by the way. So please write things about carnivore diet, not spreading crap. If this continues, I will take in some extra support to take away all the crap. Back to the carnivore diet. So if you are new at this, you will be able to have a long journey for this. Absolutely, it will not be a short journey. It will not happen everything. You will not get results immediately. For most people that are severe sick, needs to understand that you need to heal the body for the body to react in the right way. And for some people, it can take 1 year, it can take 2 years, it can take 3 years. If you're severe obese, like plus 600 pounds, up to 250 kilo plus, there is a lot of things to work on. And that is something you should understand. There is no quick fix. Carnivore diet or proper human diet, it's not a quick fix. And for some people, it can go faster. Most people, it maybe take a little longer time to get your... excuse me, I need to do an... I need to activate... So, there is some people that should not be in this comment, as I will block them. There is... I need to go in to do this. So I do my own admin. But it's a long journey. And how do you start with this carnivore lifestyle? The first thing you need to understand, if you are really sick, then you need to prime your body. And what is priming your body? The priming is the starting of this journey. Don't be afraid of calories. If you ever mention calories in this channel, you are totally, you know, out of bound. Oh, there is a lot of rubbish coming in, so I think I should fix some moderation in this channel because there is a lot of crap coming in. Excuse me for this eruption of people going and write the rubbish, but if this continues, I have to have an admin to catch up all the stupid writing they do, the stupid comments. But back to this carnivore lifestyle. So you're starting this journey by priming your body. And priming means that you should learn to eat a proper amount of food. Most women are having the most problem because they have, in many years, undereating. And if you're undereating, you're not getting a lot of nutrition for your body. And too little nutrition will set you in starvation mode. And, the body downregulates its metabolic rate. And with a downregulated metabolic rate, your body will not function well. And your basal metabolic rate will drop the same amount that you reduce your intake. So thinking if you want to drop weight by reducing intake of food, it's not a good idea, because reducing is not the goal in this. It's more or less nutrition intake that get your body to thrive. So if you stop eating proper amount of food, then you will not reach any goals that you maybe have. But the people that think that, oh, I want to do carnivore for dropping weight, it's not a good idea. Carnivore diet in itself is not a weight loss diet. It's weight optimizing diet. And how long time will it take? It depends on your body. So if you want to eat yourself down, because that will happen eventually, it can take years. It depends on your metabolic status. If you want to improve the weight loss, because it will be a weight loss, then you need to add fasting between the meals. But in first, go back to the priming state. The priming is when you learn your body to get nutrition in the body. So if you're eating proper amount of real food, meat, eggs, butter, and fish, whatever you like to eat in animal kingdom, it will take around 8 to 12 weeks for your body to get nutritional, in homeostasis, because your body needs the nutrition to reset the body, to get the basal metabolic rate up. Because you talk about women, they have more or less calorie restrict themselves for decades. If you are older, if you are still young, around 20-30 years old, you maybe still have a better metabolic rate still working, but you will down-regulate your metabolic rate when you're undereating, and that can affect your body's way to produce THA, and also you're affecting your T4, T3 in your thyroid, and this will affect your metabolism also in a bad way. So more or less, most women that get problem with nutrition also, can get Hashimoto's and every other, many autoimmune disorder because of nutrition deficiency. Even though obesity in itself is more or less just nutrition deficiency. And you think that's weird, because obesity is not caused by calories, That's the main thing you need to understand. Obesity is caused about insulin resistance or too high insulin. And more or less all obese people are nutrition deficient. That's more or less the reason why fat people eating more or eating wrong stuff, and get insulin resistance, and they're also not getting the proper amount of nutrition from that food they have chosen. So obese people are more or less have nutrition deficiency in more or less all cases. And when you have that, your body will not function well. So even if you're, severe obese, you need to prime your body when you're starting this journey. Otherwise, you will get tired, you get a headache, you will not feel good, and you have problem, and you will get hungry. So I recommend people, doesn't matter how fat you are or sick you are, to try to eat maybe 2, 3 times per day for 8 to 12 weeks. And when you come into that, your body get nutrition. And you're eating, of course, carnivore diet or ketovore, or what you ever choose between this spectrum. But I prefer carnivore. And when this 8 to 12 weeks has passed, more or less most people have, in 8 weeks, you have probably, hopefully, get your insulin down. I will not say you will get it down to perfectly, but you will probably get it dropping a lot. And so we still probably have an insulin resistance. More or less everyone that are, let's say 80% of the people in United States or in Sweden are more or less insulin resistant today. There is, this is typical for more or less all people around the world today, that eating this more than crap. So around 80% have more or less insulin resistance, or you will say, too high insulin in, baseline insulin will be probably too high in most, more or less all cases, around this 80%. So it will take some time to get insulin down. As long as your insulin, your fasting insulin is too high, after 10, 12 hours, you will not get your weight loss start. You need to get your insulin level low enough. And if you're not working with this and you have too high insulin, it doesn't matter if you're eating carnivore for 6 months, you would probably not drop weight. But first, with priming the body is the most important thing you can do. And when you come into that goal, 8 to 12 weeks, it's time for you to go down to maybe 2 meals per day and eating maybe between 11 o'clock a.m. to about 4 or 5 o'clock p.m. And you can shrink this eating window. So you may be eating 2 smaller meals, if you don't have the ability to eat a lot. And then you should do the fasting to the day after. So you get your maybe 16 to 18 hours fast, hopefully. If you can shrink this eating window down to 4 hours, you will have 20 hours fast between the meals. And that's something you can start in with the first 3 months. Just eating 1 to 2 meals and have this 20 hours fast. It's the fasting that is the most important thing, just not the meat or the food you eat. It's the fasting. It's the time between the meals that will heal you. And if your goal is to have a weight loss, greater weight loss, then you need to introduce fasting. And this is something I should have done way, way back when I started carnivore, maybe after 1 year. I didn't do it. I started carnivore 2019 in September. And I got some weight loss, but I stalled and I stalled and I stalled. And when I come to 2022, I come in connection with Yays of Fun, and I understand, and also got the paper from Candy Berry about this Common Labs report, and I can see this insulin, what number I should have. And I got the tests done, and I understand that, okay, I have too much, not like insulin resistance anymore. It was lower, but it was too much to get, fat burning. And for me, it was to introduce fasting. And the fasting, I started doing like a shorter fast, 24 hours, 30, 36 hours, and I got to 42 and 72 hours for the first, like 4 or 5 months. And then I started with a new fasting schedule that I would say you eat every second day. And then you will have around 36 to 42 hours fast between two meals. And that is probably the most, secure way to drop weight, eating every second day. Because your body doesn't need food every day. That is totally rubbish. Something that, the government all around the world, the government has says, you have this, say you need to eat like this every day. You should have breakfast, etc., etc. There is not such a thing. Your body needs a certain amount of proteins, and of course some fat, but the proteins need a proper amount. But you don't need to eat it every day to get perfectly amount of these proteins every day. You can skip it, eating more food on your eating days instead of try to reduce yourself. Eat more, because if you eat more, you will get a longer anabolism. You will be satiety for longer, and you can do the fasting. So don't be afraid of food when you're eating. So eat enough food so you have comfortably stuffed. Then listen to your body. Are you hungry? I can tell you like this: most people that doing this 40 hours fast, because I have a lot of people follow me and have started this, they have dropped weight. And all of them come to the same conclusion. If you're doing this fasting schedule for maybe 1 month, your hunger will disappear. If you're obese, your hunger will disappear. You will not feel hungry for after 36 hours. So then you start eating food because you need eating food, because you want to, preserve your muscles, you preserve your health. If you try to drop away from eating, every second day and try to fasting longer, then it's even more important to eating enough food when you, break in your longer fast. If you check back, I check around, I have, in official world record in fasting, real fasting. And I did, totally 22 days fast per month for more or less 1.5 years. Totally 22 days, totally per month. And I eat in like, there is no, and I could eat a lot of food when I break my fast. I started little, and I had did 7 days fast. And when I break the fast, I eat in little, then I start eating more on the one day. And then I go into eating every second day. And then I go back to 7 days fast. But this was the thing I need to do to drop a lot of weight. If you are really, really obese, that is the most effective way you can drop weight, because otherwise it will take time. You can, of course, doing like strictly lion diet. If you're just eating meat and nothing else, you probably drop a lot of weight also in 1 year. But if you are severe obese, like if you're a woman, let's say 150 kilo, that's a lot for a woman that more or less always are shorter than men. It will take time. It will not take 1 year. Will not take 2 years. All the people that going for carnivore that drop a lot of weight, really, really big people like I was, have done, incorporate fasting with the meals, between the meals, and some have done longer fast, because you should listen to your body. You should not eat when you are not hungry. So for me, I had not been hungry now for 2 years. I still not feel hunger. I eat because I want to eat, because I want to preserve the muscle and build up muscles now. I could drop the last weight loss I need to do maybe in 6 months if I want to. I have the goal to maybe drop the last weight now for 9 months, but I will take it easy. There's no time, not need to rush in and hurry with this weight loss. Let's see if there is no questions. Have you any questions? Then ask them. I know there was a woman in Carnivore Nordic that wanted help. Let's tell her I can help her. Of course, this thing I talk about with the fasting thing and the schedule, this is for everyone. It's not special, women are not special if you compare to men. But there is one, if you are fertilized age and you go to your when you release eggs and and this thing still have this functional, then maybe you should not do longer fast, not eating at all. In those cases, you can add fat. Animal fat is perfectly fine to just eat animal fat on your fasting year. Do fat fasting for women. The women need more fat than males. So you can add fat on your fasting days. This will, help your hormones to stabilize. It will help your hormones because your body is totally run on, cholesterol. Your body depends on it. If you have low cholesterol, you will not feel good. And before carnivore, I have low, and the healthcare said, "Oh, you have so nice numbers. It's not the, it's low blood fats, and this is good. You keep up with this." I never felt good having that. Now my number is going up, still not super high, but it says, "You have a little bit high cholesterol." Yes, but as I told today, I feel good. And when I got these numbers up, also my vitamin D level, skyrocket. And everybody knows about vitamin D. It's very important, and because it's not a vitamin, it's a hormone. So your vitamin D level or hormone level should be adequate. If you are in the United States, I will recommend people to be around 80 to 100. It depends on how you feel. 80 to 100 nanograms. If you're in Sweden and in Europe we have other measurements, I would recommend people to be over 180. 180. I see now the guidelines in Sweden what changed just a couple of months ago. So before we have 178 millimole as maximum, but now it's changed to 250. It's okay to have vitamin D level up to 250 milligrams millimoles, and that's equal to around 100 nanogram per deciliter. So the higher vitamin D level you have together with this diet, the more or less chance for you to getting sick is more or less zero. For me, I have not been sick. 2022 in January was the last time I have a cold. So I not have a cold soon in 3 years. Not even a single, snoring, nothing. Totally dry. And this was after getting my vitamin D level up and cholesterol started rising, go up. And that's important. You should, the body should be nutritional, full with all the things you need. Otherwise, your body will not function well. Yeah. And how do you do this? How you will, sustain all the years? Because I'm 5 years into this. It's pretty simple, actually, because when you're eating like this for a long, long time, you drop out the taste of sweet. It's, for me, I cannot eating anything that tastes sugary. Anything that is sweet is more or less totally impossible to eat. I will spit it out. I feel if it's sugar in it. My body doesn't want sugar, it wants fat. So every time you maybe feel that you maybe want to eat something that you think you have a sweet tooth, I recommend people to drink some salt water. Not too much salt, but take a little bit salt water and it will disappear like this. then instead go eat something that is fat. You can eat, you know, and I like, pork back fat. I preserve it in sea salt for a couple of days, and I hang it in my fridge to let it, dry out and get very firm. And I cut thin slices, and this is what I eat. It's have no nitrates at all. It's just sea salt. It will last put in the freezer. It will last 8 9 months without any problems. If you have it in the fridge, maybe 1 2 week, and you cut thin slices and you eat it instead of snacking something, shit that you shouldn't eat. So pure fat is perfectly fine. If you really, really want to have something in your mouth, do fat only, because fat will not affect your insulin whatsoever. It's so little, it's probably nothing will happen. So you can actually eat fat and improve your health. Maybe not being fully autophagy when you compare it to with fasting, but something else happen when you're eating just pure fat. And also, if if you're younger and you want to improve your health, pretty quick, then you can follow my son's example. He prime his body with fat before he eating, and he drinks heavy cream. He can do it. He's young. He does not eat sugar, but he do heavy cream. He drink it like milk. But it works. He looks more or less like an 18-year-old kid. He's 14. He has muscles like a grown-up man, and he do not do any sorts of training at all, except for, normal gymnastic when you do in school in 8th grade. And it's not more or less just, running around and maybe do some, dances, as what we have to do in Sweden. It's not that complicated. They are moving around for around 40 minutes. That's it. Still, he has muscle like a grown-up man. So I will say this is nothing I had, and it's nothing that his friends in school have in his grade. He more or less looked like he doing, some kind of training for, heavy weight lifting or something, but he do not. He more or less play Fortnite. That's what he does. So you can grow muscle. I have put in a photo in my TikTok account on him from the behind, and I took, and he has like this V-shaped back, over the shoulders and down. So he is pretty muscular. But you can do like him, and then you add meat. Because if you prime your body with fat before starting eating, let's say 1 hour before you should maybe think of eating your meal, the fat will introduce GLP-1. And GLP-1 is slowing down your, bowel movement. And when you're eating, you can't overeat. It's impossible. So when you're eating meat, you can't overeat it. You eat until you're comfortably stuffed, and more or less all cases is enough. And after that, you will have a very slow bowel movement, and that means you've taken up a lot of more nutrition, and you break down the food more, and using the energy and take up the energy, and this will also induce a higher metabolic rate. If I look at my son's case now, he is not doing any sports. He not doing a lot of exercise at all, but he probably eats around, if I say something about calories, but we can take measurement of, we're burning food. We take this measurement and have calories. I would say he eat around 4,000-5,000 calories per day, and he's 14 years old. Normal cases, normal boy in his age that eating a lot of crap, they probably will gain a lot of weight, but he dropping weight. He dropped weight to the spring, but now he is going up a little bit, but his measurement is getting better. That means he grows muscle instead of fat. And this is a good thing because he eats a lot of proteins. He probably eating overload of proteins because he eats more or less the same amount of food as I do. So if I eat like a 500 grams of ribeye, he do maybe 450. So he more or less eat equal to me. And for him it works. And people that follow him, the other young kids in, I think it's 2 kids in his school that look at him and try to eat like that. They also dropping weight. And our goal is to, let my boy, my son, be an, a role model for other kids in his age. And, maybe do a big change for, people that are around 7, 8, 9 degree in school, that they can change their life and, building muscle without even make a lot of training, because your body and young body needs nutrition. They need proteins to build. Young kids is capable of building muscles with food and just normally, normal go to school, walk, using the body as they should. They build muscle. They have this ability. They are growing, but you need to give them the food. So if you look at in Sweden now, we have people, government around this country. They are, doing all more vegan things in the school. They are not serving meat as it should. And this is the case in my boy's school, my son's school. They are not serving meat, more or less, nothing or very little. And he don't want to eat that crap. So he has not eaten one single meal in school since he started 7th grade. Not a single meal, not even the spring time in the 6th grade. He didn't even eat food in school because the school food is crap in Sweden now, because there are a lot of vegan options, but not for carnivores. And we got some problem with the school because they didn't like this. So I got in, contact for 1 year ago. They connected with me, and Sweden are what Sweden are. So they, almost all or more or less contacted the social security, for school. They can, actually take kids in Sweden if they think they are not feeling good. But as a dad, I was in for this 100%. So I take around 1 hour chat with this woman, and also that goes up higher in our community. They have this for like a doctor that's working with the social security system and with the school. So I have 1 hour chat with that guy and with the nurse. And they back it off because I more or less read the shit out of them. And they come to the conclusion, yes, you seem to have a good knowledge of this with the metabolism and nutrition. Yes. So now my son has more or less soon eaten this diet for 2 years. So he's 2 years carnivore. And more or less the last 1.5 year, he's eating more or less 85 to 90% raw. And of course, I do raw meat. For me, because of my problems, I eat raw meat. I have very big problems with eating veggies because I can't eat them. In some cases, I can tolerate some spices, but now it's impossible. I dropped out the spices 3 weeks ago because I cannot use black pepper at all. I get severe sick eating that shit. So for me now, it's just meat and salt, raw meat and salt. I cannot withstand at all. I eat black pepper 3 weeks ago because I want to eat it. Try it. I like the taste, and my epithelium drop out. I told today Mac about this. This time was even worse because the skin on the lip just is. I just take this and just rip it off. I got open wound and I got the infection with a fungus. I need to use cortisone, and I said this is not worth it. So now I ditched the black pepper also. So I have severe allergy against more or less all veggies and now even spices. So I'm fucked in that way. But I prefer eating food that I feel good. So I just ditched the black pepper. All the spices is gone. So now it's just raw meat for me, and it's salt. I use American pink salt. It's called. Name is more or less Redmond salt. That's it. Nothing else. So I eating raw meat and salt. I would say that if baby said it's a lion diet, it's one step over that. It's raw. So I don't think you can eat more lion diet like that. Of course, I do still do eggs, and for them I do easy, sunny side up, because the egg white, I not recommend people doing egg white raw. It's not that good for you. It's if you're eating too much egg white, you can get deficiency in biotin, and you don't want that. So I prefer eating the egg yolk raw and the egg white, say it fried. I do fry, and I use some gas on it, the flamethrowers, that they get the egg white to just quick get fried, and the egg yolk is always 100% raw. So I do that because I don't want to eat egg white, because I don't want the deficiency in biotin. I don't recommend people doing too much egg white raw. Of course you can eat it sometimes, but don't overdo it. It's not good for you. Have someone get question? I take stop these two people that write a lot of crap, so they are not joining this party at all. So if you have any questions, ask them. I will not be doing this too long. I've done this now for more or less 50 minutes. Hopefully, I hope some Swedish people come in, and from Carnivore Nordic, that probably hopefully could ask some questions. But for those that don't want to talk in English or ask questions, and still want help, they can always connect with me in my Facebook account, Meat Geek Sweden. I cannot name my page in Facebook Carnivore for Future. They think that's inappropriate. So what should I say about Facebook? But you can search for Carnivore for Future. The search page is still working for the Carnivore for Future for my page in Facebook. You will end up in Meat Geek Sweden. And then you can write message on Messenger if you want, have question that you want, not everyone to hear. Some people are, maybe, don't like to show them off and how much weight they have on the scale, and etc., etc. And I'm perfectly fine for that, So I have totally today maybe 15 person I help over Messenger. So I do it for free. And I do it when I have the time with it. So I work a lot now, so I take some off time and just write to the stuff. Maybe sometime we call each other. I have two women, one in Canada and one in the United States. I actually talk over Messenger with them, because it's a lot easier to talk about problems. And one of them have done some lab tests and blood works, and she was afraid her kidney was doing a little bit worse. They say her EGFR was lowering. But the thing is, most cases is that the people that are doing carnivore diet, they should always test cystatin C. You need that equation. Need to do this blood test also when you're doing carnivore, because just doing this creatinine and test on your kidneys without the cystatin C will not be appropriate. You cannot use it. We are not functional the same if you compare to normal human that eating the modern crap. So cystatin C should always be taken when you're doing test of your kidneys. If I take the cystatin C in my equipment, I have an EGFR around 120, and that is way better than 90 I had before Carnivore. 90 is not that bad, but with cystatin C and this test I done, I am at 120 in EGFR, and that is not bad at all. That means my kidney is working perfectly fine. So don't go for this trap that the doctors just take the EGFR normal without cystatin C, then you will be not having good numbers. Eating a lot of proteins is just making this creatinine level, and if you exercise, will be totally not useful at all. Of course, like me, I'm not having a high creatinine level. I think it was down to 64, 65. That's not high. It's actually good. They meaning my kidney is working even better than most people. So 120 on the EGFR is absolutely something I should be proud of it, of course, because I've been, almost kidney failure when I got the COVID for 3.5 years ago. That was not a good thing for my body and for my organs. But I'm healed 100%. I feel no problem with the COVID or long COVID syndrome I got for over 1 year. It's totally vanished, totally gone. So yeah, I talk a lot about myself. Have anyone any question? Please write what country you are from. It's fun to see what people are from. I see those two that write a lot of crap. They have spamming. I just cut them off. See the other people. I see there is 5 person live in this. So please write some comment and like this and hopefully share. I know I didn't do this. I planned this. I put this up yesterday. So maybe next time I need to do 1 week before so people can go in and ask questions, check this up. The thing, I am a member of Candy Berry's tribe. We have in our own community, and the thing is that even Candy Berry recommend people to watch me, and he says this guy know what he's talking about. Even Anthony Sheffy's team look at this channel, and they have come to conclusion. I'm not talking rubbish. I share more or less only science, and should end this. I will cut off between around 8 minutes. I think 8 minutes. But the metabolic health, we can switch in for this for a couple of minutes before I end this. What is metabolic health? Can you improve your metabolic health? Of course you can do it. The thing is, we are people, we are different. Everyone is different. Some people are not functional well. Some people, can overeat a lot and will not gain weight. Some people can just eat little and gain weight. But the thing is, everything is about insulin. More or less, insulin is the key factor for if you're gaining weight or not. If you're keeping your sugar intake down to minimum, like 5, 10, or maximum 20 grams, carbs, low enough, everyone will drop weight if they need it. It's all about your insulin level. Also, you need to have, for metabolic health, it's not a good idea to be in deep ketosis constantly every day. You need to have this variation maybe 1 time per week, and you will get that if you do like me. When I did an 7 days fast, I can break the fast by eating 1 egg, waiting 2-3 hours, then I go in and I maybe eat 15 or 18 eggs in one sitting. I'm not kidding. And people think, yeah, this too much. Oh, it's not too much, because eggs are nutritional. If you're doing 7 days fast, you need what's in the egg. You need the nutrition, and so that's normal. When you're starting eating like that, you fill up, you restore your protein, and eggs are one of the most bioavailable proteins you can eat. So eggs is very good food to break your fast with if you do a longer fast. So don't be afraid of eating too much. But eggs also has carbs. So there is actually more carbs in 100 grams eggs than you maybe, people are afraid of eating these elementaries. They talk a lot about they have maltodextrin sugar in this electrolyte. There is more carbs in eggs than in this electrolyte. So don't be afraid of, if you need to calculate if you eat one meal per day, you don't have to be afraid for 5 grams of carbs. It will be, in the food. It will not affect your insulin level that much. It will be like hiding this carb because you can go for heavy cream. It has carbs, of course, had carbs. It's dairy products, but the fat will not allow your insulin level to kick up because the fat will, keeping these carbs hidden for you. So you need actually to use your bile to break down the fat, and that will take some time. And that will make you release this sugar or lactose in this heavy cream, and it will go slow. So you will not get this kick or insulin in doing heavy cream. That's impossible. So don't be afraid of dairy. Maybe some people can't eat that, of course, but the fat in butter, of course, is something you really need to eat, like because that's most dense fat when you have this C15 fat existing in dairy products. It's in the butter, and if you're eating butter, you can always switch over to ghee or clarified butter. That's have more C15 fat. C15 fat was released about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, a paper about it, and showing that is more or less the most important fat molecule we human can get in our body. It's holding up our cell membrane, and if you eat too little no saturated fat like from butter or heavy cream, there is no such source for this fat that is but you get enough of it. So if like me that eating no animal fat at all, more or less, I grew up on margarine and oils and crappy food. This C15 was so low on the intake, so it will, I even, we in Sweden we have like a mini milk. It's like non-fat milk. It's just probably, sugar water, colored sugar water, I would call it. My dad go all in for this low fat, low fat. And so I have no source for C15 fat in my first, more or less, 30, 40 years. It was when I started eating carnivore, I started to introduce butter in my life. And this has totally changed my brain, how it works. And this is the case with the C15 fat. And so C15 fat is very important for you to eat. So don't ditch the butter. If you can't stand the butter because you have problem with some lactose intolerant, do the clarified butter or ghee. Because in ghee you have even more C15 fat. It's concentrated. So that's very important for your health to get C15 fat. And it's also available from fatty fish. So you can eat fish that have really, really a lot of fat, like a mackerel or something. Even sardines is good because that fat also contains C15. But we humans are depending on this fat molecule to get our brain to work, and even our metabolism needs to have it to work. So your metabolism is controlled by your mitochondria, and your mitochondria function is what settles your basal metabolic rate. So if you have dysfunctional metabolism, it's more or less always your mitochondria that doesn't work as it should. And you need to supply all nutrition for your mitochondria to work. And that is more or less that problem that people have. They have dysfunctional mitochondria because of nutrition deficiency. And that's why people that are fat getting fat because they will eat but cannot use the energy. They store the energy because they get too high insulin. And they don't have the mitochondria function to burn the shit out. Uh, Even if you go for carnivore and you overeat, probably don't gain weight by that because you probably pull out the over energy because your body has when you go into carnivore for a long time, your body has the ability to just throw the shit out because you don't get high insulin. Your body probably pull out all the fat you don't use, so you will maybe poop out more light poop instead of really brown, because if you overeat fat, you can't turn that over to energy for your body. You will poo it out. It will come out in the toilet. So eating too much fat is more or less impossible because you have a limit of fat you can eat. The thing is that you need bile to break down fat. And if you're overeating fat, you will not break down the fat. It will end up in your small intestines and will come out with the poop. And that means that your poop maybe be yellowish. And because you overeating fat and you will not take up the over nutrition or the energy from it. So it's more or less totally uh, impossible to gain weight on eating animal fat because everything you're eating too much of will pass out. That means also you will, in overeating fat, you will get a quicker to get a food. You will probably get it out pretty quick. 12 to 14 hours, you will go to the toilet. Eating fat before a meal will slow down the bowel movement, but if you overeat fat, it will come out. So you will not take up all the energy from fat when you overeat fat. But you can improve your metabolic rate eating more fat because more fat will induce more bile production. It will induce more metabolic rate because your heat in the body will go up. Also with the meat you're eating, you get little higher body temperature. Your body will need to use a lot more energy to break down the fat. You will not also use more energy to break down the proteins. Under eating proteins and fat instead of going for sugar. Sugar doesn't need a lot of energy to break down. It will turn over to, let's say you're eating white sugar. It's 50% fructose, it's 50%, say we turn over to glucose. And this is not good for you. You will take up in the blood immediately with a couple of minutes. Your blood sugar will go up, and your liver will has to deal with the fructose, and you get fatty liver pretty quick with that. But it doesn't take a lot of energy to absorb it into the body, into the system. But with meat, more or less, I think you would burn around between 5 and 20% of the food in energy. It will go for your mitochondria function to burn it down, to break it down and take up nutrition. You use a lot of energy to nutrition yourself with this food and turn it over to ATP. It takes a lot of energy. And this energy turn over to heat. That's why when eating carnivore, you always feel a little bit warmer in the body after eating that. And people at my work, I go work in a t-shirt. I go with t-shirt at work, and it's bloody winter outside soon. I go with the t-shirt at work, and I work with t-shirt. Other one at my work, they go around with long sweatshirts and jackets, and I work in t-shirts. I even go outside in t-shirts, and people say, "Don't you freezing?" Nope. I eat meat. I don't get cold because I do not get cold when I eat. I get warmer. So that means my metabolism is going up. And I tried, this half year that's gone through since around May month to now, or maybe 2 weeks back. I tried to overeat to see if I gain weight, and it's impossible. If I overeat, I'm eating fat, dairy fat, like in Sweden we have, like, I don't know if English is the same, it's called crème fraîche. It's 32% like heavy cream that are fermented to make very thick, very good to do. If you want to use a lot of fat in the food, you can, and it's about 300 calories per deciliter if you calculate calories. And I empty one can of those, it's 1,500 calories, and nothing happened. I'm not gaining weight because the only thing that happens, I go to the toilet the day after and I poop it out. So the limit is when you hitting the limit on your maximum fat uptake. That's when you can look at what comes out. And number two, if it's brown, you're eating too little or precisely as much fat you need. If it's getting lighter, you overeating fat. You can cut down on it. But same time, if you overeat the fat, you get satiety a lot quicker. Therefore, you maybe cannot overeat proteins. Of course, you can overeat on this. It's fully possible. But it doesn't mean that you're gaining weight. But you can overeat, absolutely. But it's more or less impossible to do that continuously every day, because eating, if you look like raw meat, I would say it's impossible. If I cook meat, I can eat more. Cooked meat is more easy to eat compared with raw meat. You get satiety much quicker. I could probably eat 2 pounds of cooked meat without any problem, but my maximum ability to eat raw meat is about little over 1 pound, maybe 1 pound and like 4 ounces maximum. It's impossible to eat 2.2 pounds. Let's say that is equal around 1 kilo. It's impossible if you eat it raw. I could not do it. It says no, it's enough, because raw meat is taking longer to digest, and your body to break it down. It takes a bit longer, and it's also have a lot of moist. 70% is water. So eating a half kilo of raw meat also will get you a lot of water. But cooked meat contains less water, so it will be more compact. You can fill up your gut a lot more, your stomach. Now I will quit this, and hopefully next time I will get more questions and not this type of rubbish that was written. This happened because people find this channel and not interested in carnivore at all. Hopefully someone gets some information that they can use. If you are more into this and want to know more, and don't want to write open, you can always connect with me in my Meat Geek page. Just search for Carnivore for Future in Facebook. You will find the page, and you can send message privately if you don't want to ask question here. And it's for free, still for free. There actually people have written to me that offer me money for helping them and do it live, private with them. But I said no. This is for free. I want to help other people. For every people I can help back in health, that will bring joy to my life. And I don't want to charge people for the health. They need to just start to listen and try to change their life, and stop listening to authorities around the world. In Sweden they are totally weird. They think we should eat maximum 350 grams. I think that's about little less than 1 pound. It's not even that. It's under 1 pound of meat per week. And I'll say that's what I eat every day. And they are totally whacked in this country. If there any country that's going vegan, this is Sweden. But we will see. We'll stop them. Yeah, I will say bye-bye, and I don't see any more comments, and hopefully next time you have more questions, and hopefully understand what I talk about. I'm not, I'm Swedish. My normal language is Swedish. I do English pretty good, hopefully. Some words maybe a little bit fucked up, and maybe don't understand everything, but more or less you understand me to 99%. I say goodbye, and hopefully we see us. I will see if I do a live maybe in 2 weeks next time. It's not too often I do it, but hopefully I will come doing this more. I will try to stay to 1 hour or little more, depending on if I get more questions. This time it was no question at all, just people that are watching this. And yeah, I say goodbye. Have a good Sunday evening if you live in the United States. Have a good night soon because it's time to go to bed soon when you live in Sweden. Bye bye.